The most important lesson I learned in my early career, I never went to college. So it took me 10 years to learn what all these people who went to college learned in like the 3 or 4 years they were here. They get a concentrated dose of people who are incredibly experienced. So I sort of had to learn on the job. But I think what I learnt most was sort of being fearless, like just going for it. I had lots of dreams, I had lots of things I wanted to try, and I was like, I'm just going to give it a go. If I fall flat on my face, that one's not for me. And I think that also goes on to that sort of resilience with auditions and things like that. There will be just so many no's. You don't take it personally. It could be a million other people that are better or more right for that role, but you will get a role, and that will suit you and you'll do well in it. So, yeah. I think there's lots of new opportunities for emerging artists. In the industry, I think, you know, with the advent of social media, that's an entire new world. YouTube, all these different TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, there's lots of content needed and lots of opportunities, therefore, to find where those niches are in those markets. There's still always going to be stories that need to be told through whichever medium that is. So it constantly changes, and yet it stays the same in that respect. There's always a need for art. It's the bottomless, unfillable cup. So yeah, there's a place for people. I think my favourite bit about touring with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, because I've never done a tour before. So in the 30 years that I've been in the UK, I've went to Plymouth to do a play, and then I've been a few other bits and pieces, but never done the traditional UK tour, which is sort of where people in the olden days used to cut their teeth and do rep theatre and all that sort of stuff. Now I'm not doing rep because that's a whole different beast. The show is great, the music's great. Performing in this show is really, really lovely and a pleasure and a privilege. Just getting to places all around the UK, meeting the people, finding there are different audiences that won't laugh at one thing for an entire week. They're just like, that is not funny to them. You're like, huh. But the towns themselves, yeah. I love that part of my job that's been over my career. I've got to go to places where I never thought I would get to go, let alone go and film and be amongst sort of local communities and absorb the culture. It's one of the privileges of the business. I think my advice would be that understanding that it's peaks and troughs and that it's feast and famine. It's dealing and learning the resilience to cope with the highs and the lows. Because it's an artistic journey, you don't know where you're going to end up. You don't know what's going to capture your attention. You might become bored with what you originally thought you loved, and it might transform into something else. Richard Wilson said, just be open. And that's it. You just got to be open to the opportunities, open to the learning, open to the community. I think the other really important thing is it's not just about career. You got to, live your life. Your career comes along with it. I think what excites me most about the next generation of theatre professionals is, in a way, they're standing on the shoulders of all those who have come before them. They are the accumulated knowledge of all the actors and lecturers and teachers. They'll have got to learn things in, a couple of weeks that took me a decade to acquire. That's sort of the genius behind human beings in general. We mightn't be able to always be the people that make stuff up, but we're incredibly good at replicating knowledge and then building upon that. I also think, just the new mediums, the new technology that they'll get to play with and play inside of, the new opportunities that will come out of that. That's really exciting. Shakespeare works as well because the human condition is always the human condition. We have to keep on telling stories about that. So it's exciting for them to tell those stories in different ways.